Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clarepoint podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, shway, crispy, irie? You know what we're usually here for? The podcast. But if you're feeling this episode or any of the previous episodes, you know what to do below all of that. Show your boy some love and all of them things like that. But let's get on to it. The podcast for this week. Now you're probably thinking, hey, last week what happened? There was no podcast last week. I went football, and unfortunately, before that, I just wasn't feeling up to it. You know what I mean? It's one of them days where I wasn't feeling up to it, and I thought I was going to do it later on, and then headache occurred. Do you know what I mean? And I felt all sorts of ways, and I wasn't feeling, right as rain. So I said, you know what? Let's leave it and move on. So let's get on to the episode for this week. Let's get on to the first one. We come to the first random question. Are you afraid of staying home alone? No, I think sometimes when you're used to your own space, you're probably more able to deal with all of that on your own. Do you know what I mean? I think staying home alone for people probably who have, been around too many people and just want to have time to do their own thing. So I generally feel like if you're alone, staying home alone, you're going to be like Macaulay Culkin, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Doing home alone stuff. But I think it's kind of where you would need space from other people, you know what I mean? And obviously I don't live alone, I live with other people, so I'm not afraid to do that at this point in time. I would like to be in a position where I could do that, have my own space, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, so you just move on, you take it from there. So next question, where would you like to time travel? Back to the past or to the future? I think time traveling would be cool to see the future, to see what the future brings, to see how the future looks. I think if you're seeing the future, it'll be nice to see, as I say, the buildings and what everything looks like. If it looks like something like Star Wars, do you know what I mean? Like where the buildings look absolutely amazing, high tech, out of this world and that, do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But I would like to see the progression of how it looks from now till then. So I wouldn't go back to the past, I'd go to the future. Next one, what does the word okay mean to you? It just means okay. It means okay to me. It doesn't mean anything else, anything more. Someone says okay, I'm just like, okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? It could mean someone is wholeheartedly in it or someone isn't really wholeheartedly in it. But if they say okay, cool, I don't see any qualms with it. I don't have any problems with someone just saying okay to me. So I don't know what that means to other people, but for me, okay just means cool, right? Let's go, whatever. So yeah, next question. Which of your body parts do you wish to change? I mean, if I had to pick one, now if you asked me this question probably like 20 years ago, I may have given you a lot of answers. Probably back then, I wasn't someone who really was comfortable, like I say, in my own skin, you know what I mean? Being bullied obviously at a younger age didn't make me feel comfortable, made me feel like I was the problem, you know what I mean? So back then I could have told you a whole heap of things, but now I'll probably say my thighs. I think I have some really wide thighs, you know what I mean, which obviously can't fit into like, your jeans that are kind of like, because obviously I get a 36 in sort of size. I'm just baiting myself out saying I'm a big, budgy in that, pudgy. But I get a 36, but if I get like a regular, it doesn't seem to fit me unless I get a large. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think if the hips were just really probably just a bit, let's say, less outy and kind of just more inside, then yeah, the hips and the thighs, because I generally have big hips and thighs. So for a man, it's quite weird, but still. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Have you ever driven someone else's car without first getting permission? No, I've not done that. I've not done those things before. Probably in my youth days, I wish I could have done those things and, let's say, had a time of my life or whatever. I had a time of my life. It's a bit mad, do you know what I mean? because that's just silliness in itself. Do you know what I mean? Just jacking a car. But hey, you do that as a youth, right? You want to see how far you can go with certain things and that. But I've not really stepped outside the box and done certain things that's that crazy. So, yeah, I mean, my parents were very much like, no, you're staying indoors, or you're just going just to the little area where I can see you. Do you know what I mean? You're not going anywhere further or beyond, or you're not making friends with people that's outside our area. So I couldn't really, let's say, go and do those sort of things. And as a kid, I was mainly more someone who stayed indoors, so I didn't really go out as much. Do you know what I mean? I liked my own space and my own company, and obviously at that period of time I was going through what I was going through in school, so I was more of a homebody, and I'm more like to stay at home and, let's say, be random and be weird. So that was generally just my thing. So yeah. All right, well, that's it for the questions. Then we're going to move on now to come to the game 5-second rule. So let's get onto that game. People do remember that game. Basically, it's about me finding three answers, for the 5 seconds. So getting 3 answers right that can complement those questions and getting them correct within the timer, which is 5 seconds. So if I don't get them right, obviously I don't get a point. So I did say that obviously from last podcast, what I would do is obviously I'd do a forfeit. So I'd say, let's say 5 questions, right? And if I get, let's say, 3 of them wrong or incorrect, I would do a forfeit for next podcast. Before the start of the podcast, maybe just eat a spicy chili, I don't know, something, a Marmite. I always said Marmite, I hate Marmite, so that would probably be the perfect solution, I guess. A spoonful, a very small teaspoon. Sorry, that's my buzzer going off. Yeah, made to pause that for a minute. Yes, unexpected interruptions there, but these things happen. You know what I mean? Couldn't really fault that person was going to buzz and knock, and it is what it is. So, but let's get on to the 5 second rules. You know what I mean? Which obviously the game. So I'm gonna obviously get the timer here, which that's what that is. Turn it around. There's the 5 seconds. Then I know what the 5 seconds are, and then move on. So the first thing will be coming with the question, and then the question will tell me what I have to, my response would be. So obviously can't see the question yet, so let's get on to what the question says, and then I'm going to turn the timer just before the question kind of finishes, so it doesn't, I can't let it sear in the brain for too long, so it catch me off guard. Anyways, name 3 sounds you don't want to hear. My parents doing it. Aeroplanes and trucks. Is that in time? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to do a VAR check on that one. I might have to come back and rewind the thing with Craig David. But I think I might have got just in time for that ball went down. But you guys might decide. And okay, so I think there's another question. Yeah, there's another question. You turn it over. So we're just going to go straight into the next one. So the first one, debatable for people. Let's get into the next one. Name 3 people who have been to prison. Nelson Mandela, Mike Tyson, I couldn't think of someone else. It just went. No, that's past the time. I'm not gonna, these things are moving mad, but that's past the time. So I didn't get all 3, so that's one fell. Okay, damn it. Just quick to think in the brain of what. All right. Are we ready? Next question. Let's go. Name 3 words or phrases that sound dirty but aren't. What are phrases that sound dirty? I can't think. My brain's gone. Yeah, that's 2. Okay, that could say 2. Okay, so 1 debatable, 1 yes, 1 no. So okay. That one was very difficult. Okay. Alright. Let's move on to the next question. Right. So picking out the box here. Man, these are tough. I'm trying to think. I can't think on the spot right now. My brain's doing the mush thing. I don't really want to do this whole eating a Marmite for you guys. That's just gonna. And I can't. But let's go. Let's see what this one is saying. Name 3 things you should never get tattooed on your butt. Your mum's name, your girl's name, your grandfather's name. I just think it's wrong, generally, having your mum's name, grandfather's name, or your girl's name in your bum. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. People say, oh, you can get your girl's name. No. That makes sense to me. So that's 2 correct, 1 wrong, 1 debatable. Okay, so we're getting to the next one. Name 3 gifts given at a chav wedding. BR, a top. I don't know. That's 2 wrong. Damn it. Alright, so I guess the last one's debatable, right? Everybody would say in, or would they say out? I'm not sure on that one. But this one's going to be kind of the cider one. If I get this wrong, I will have to eat a Marmite live next episode, right in front of you guys. I don't want to do that. I really don't. That's just going to mess up man's equilibrium and everything. But anyways, let's go. Next question. So I've covered it, so I can't see what it is. So hopefully I get this one right. I need to get it right. I can't be in Marmite next week, man. It's not on. No chance. But let's go. Name 3 things you need to magnify. Sorry, you need a magnifying glass to see. Ant, flour. It's done. I'm eating the Marmite next week. I set myself up to fail, haven't I? I really did. Oh, goodness. It is what it is, man. It's a game. I failed. I can graciously accept it, and I will be eating Marmite next week. That's fully confirmed that I will be. No. I'm not looking forward to this at all. I can't forget though. I know me, I'll probably want to forget, but you will remind me. I know you guys will remind me, hey, you said you're going to eat the Marmite this week. Don't forget that. And if I do forget, it's double the trouble the next following week. So, alright, if I do forget, so. Alright, man, that sucks. That's put me in a bit of a down mood, you know. I'm not going to lie to you. Next week, eating Marmite, I'm not feeling it at all, man. But let's go. Let's go. That sucks. That's all I can say. That sucks. But yeah, what do you guys think of the random questions, the 5-second world game? Put your comments below on that one. Keep it to yourself. That we're going to move on now to talk Bear Grylls. It's Bear Hunt. So obviously people haven't seen it. It's available on Netflix. It's basically Bear Grylls going after like 10 celebrities and chasing them around in this little jungle sort of thing. You know what I mean? And he's basically hunting them down. So that's it in a nutshell. You know what I mean? It's well worth a watch if you're interested in reality TV and kind of seeing the how would I put it? Sorry, more adventure side of reality TV. So if you're interested in that sort of aspects of reality TV, it's well worth a watch. Do you know what I mean? You can see people like Mel B on the show, people like Big Zoo. Trying to remember who else, Boris Becker. So those people are in that show. Well worth checking out, as I said, if you're interested in seeing Bear Grylls going down hunting celebrities. And yeah, man, making them shit their pants. So I liked it, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a good series. I found the concept a bit strange to start off with, I'm not gonna lie. When they said bear hunt, I was kind of thinking where are they kind of going with this. Is he gonna trap them in a cage or something, or is he gonna, you know? But then I would have thought the people who lost more, they would have given them a lot more punishment, like basic rations or something. You know, I know they said they did, but made them go and hunt their own food or something. Do you know what I mean? Like he did with the island. People have seen the Bear Grylls The Island. that was a show where they had to hunt their own food in that. This one generally is more friendlier to the celebrities. They didn't try to like go overboard, because then probably someone would have quit and walked out. What are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? Treat me like I'm an idiot, son. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I want to see, man. Some celebrities be taken to the brink. I just like it because some of them have been privileged for too long. You want to see some of them get there. You know what I mean? They sign up to do shows like these, they have to get the full experience. And that's what I generally wanted. I don't think they really got much of it. They seem like they lived in a lot of luxury, which is they got to eat and cook their own foods that they wanted to generally cook. I mean, they provide them the food and they just kind of cooked it. Yeah, listen, they had to run around the jungle, sweating hot and all of that. Cool. But I would have wanted a bit more punishment there. A little bit more. I'm a bit of a narcissist. A bit more punishment there. You know, it would have made me feel a bit more happier to see that. You know what I mean? But anyway, good show. Overall, good show. Well worth watch, as I said, if you're interested in reality TV, kind of adventure, sort of aspects of reality TV. So yeah, available on Netflix. You can check that out. It's Bear Grylls, Bear Hunt. Holly Willoughby's in it too, presenting. I don't know why she's there, to be honest, but hey, it's the glamour side of presenting, I guess, alongside Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls isn't probably maybe a enthusiast sort of entertainer, so maybe they just had her on board to just really do the thing. So, but it is what it is. It's a good show, well worth a watch. That's what I've got to say on that, innit? So yeah, man. All right, that's my thoughts on Bear Grylls The Island. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, 7. I don't think it could really get much as a 7. I thought it was decent, but probably needed a little bit more to push over the edge for me and be a really something that stayed in the memory of like a very good reality TV series. So it's good, but just not great enough. That's what I'm saying there. Cool. All right, so let's move on now to the FA Cup 5th round. So if people didn't know, the FA Cup obviously did play in the weekend. There was no Premier League games, there was the FA Cup in the weekend. So let's get into the FA Cup games that did happen. Nottingham Forest are playing today against Ipswich Town. It's today at 7:30 in the FA Cup. Who do I think is going to win this game? I'm going to go for Nottingham Forest to beat Ipswich Town. I think Nottingham Forest will beat them. I'm going to go for like a 3-1 Nottingham Forest win. That's my predictions on that, because that game is being played today at 7:30. Currently the time is 4:07 p.m. So I can predict that game. We're going to move on now to the remaining games and just my reactions to the rest of the FA Cup tie games. So we're going to get onto this one, which is Aston Villa against Cardiff City. Aston Villa beating Cardiff City 2-0. It's a good result for Villa, getting through to the next round of the FA Cup. I didn't really watch the game, so I don't really much more to tell you about that. But it's a great result for Villa. They move forward and they move on. Crystal Palace winning 3-1 against Millwall. Obviously, there was that collision with Mateta, which was very nasty from the keeper, coming out like that. Really, really nasty to see. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the keeper thought he didn't really need it, but when you come in that leg that high, yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there needs to be probably a ban there, to be honest, because that was very dangerous, and then Mateta got taken to hospital. Wish Mateta speedy recovery. Hope it's nothing serious and that he can recover and be back to playing football very soon. Do you know what I mean? Well wishes with him and all of that. So yeah, but it's a great result for Palace. I think Eddie Nketiah scored their final goal as well. I can't remember really much more what happened in the game. Sorry, my head is all over the place. That's why I'm probably still thinking about the Marmite I've got to have next week. But yeah, good result for Palace. They move on in the FA Cup. Preston beating Burnley 3-0. It's a good result for Preston. Again, I didn't watch the game. Tried to find the highlights. I think I haven't really looked much on YouTube to find the highlights, so I'll have to probably go and check that out again. Try to see if there are links where I can find them, but they just made me put the ones that are the big boy ones and never put the ones that, you know what I mean, are the lower teams and that. So no disrespect to them, but you know, the Crystal Palace Millwalls were there, the Bournemouth Wolves were there, but they weren't you know. But anyways, Bournemouth, you know, beating Wolves on penalties, going through. It's a good result for them. And congratulations to them. I think it's the first time something they've got through. Something along those stats. I said, I think it's like the first time they've got through in like how many years or decades. It's been a while for them, so well done to them. Man City beating Plymouth Argyle 3-1. It's a good result for City. Plymouth Argyle took the lead, and unfortunately they couldn't hold on. And Man City ended up going and winning 3-1. And Kevin De Bruyne scored as well, I believe. So it's good for City. Just hopefully hope they can get a strong team that knocks them out. I think we are going to come to the draw, which did happen. So I didn't really check them, so I will know after this. Newcastle are losing 2-1 to Brighton. You know what I mean? It's brilliant for Brighton. You know what I mean? Danny Welbeck scoring a beautiful chip. You know what I mean? To give Brighton the win. And obviously, it's bad news for Newcastle when Isak obviously is limped off, and obviously Anthony Gordon's so red for a ridiculous push, to be honest. Don't understand why he reacted like that. Very silly, you know what I mean? And now it could cost his team in the final when they go to play City in the final. I mean, it's Liverpool. Sorry, it's Liverpool. Yeah, when they go to face Liverpool in the final. It's City, it's not City. So, yeah. Next one, Man United 1-1 against Fulham, you know what I mean? And Fulham then going from penalties. Good result for Fulham, obviously beating Man United at home, going through and doing those things. So big up to Fulham. They go through and Man United go out. And it is what it is. But big up to Fulham. Next one they move on with. So let's get on to the quarterfinals. So the quarterfinals we come on to. Brighton should be facing the winners out of today's game of Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town. Obviously, I predict that Nottingham Forest is going to win. So Nottingham Forest should be facing Brighton. Who do I think is going to win that game? That's a very tough one to call, to be honest. But I do think it could be Nottingham Forest's. I think they could just edge it out on Brighton. I'm going to go for like a 2-1 Nottingham Forest win in the quarterfinals leg, which should be happening on the 29th of March, 3 p.m. kickoff. Preston versus Aston Villa is another 29th of March game for the quarterfinals. I'm going to go for Aston Villa winning this one. Probably a very tight one again. I think Preston are going to be very hard to beat at home, but I think Villa will just have enough to edge it. So I'm going to go a very tight 1-0 Aston Villa win. Fulham versus Crystal Palace. I think, again, it's a tough one to call. You know, Fulham a bit indifferent in form. Palace could feel quite buoyed, obviously, after getting through, you know what I mean, to that next round. So it can go anywhere. But I do think this is... I think it's Fulham. I think Fulham has got this. I'm going to go 2-0 Fulham. I think they'll score first in like the 30th minute, and then probably score again in like close to the 80th or something, and then see the game out. So 2-0 Fulham. Bournemouth versus Man City. I hope Bournemouth would do a job. Really hope they would, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately. But it is away from home for City, so things can happen. I'm going to predict a 1-1, and I think City will probably just get it on extra time, unfortunately. So I'm going to go 2-1 City, 1-1 normal time. I think City edging it 2-1 after extra time. So then it will be, in the next round would be Man City, Fulham, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. Those are my predictions. So there'll be tough ties, very tough ties. You know what I mean? I hope City don't win it this year. I hope one of the other guys win it. That's all I hope. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's all for my predictions of the FA Cup. What do you guys think? You can put your comments below on that one, or you can keep it to yourself. Well, cool. Well, we're going to move forward now to talk the Champions League. Oh, to be the champion. So we are Champions League. You know what I mean? Matches that are going to be happening on the round of 16, leg 1, first leg practically. So yeah. All right, we're going to come to the predictions now. Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. This is obviously a game that's happening tomorrow, 5:45 p.m. I'm going to go for Aston Villa winning the first leg. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think Bruges probably would score, but I think Villa would just have enough. I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. This is going to be a big time, man. Madrid derby happening in the round of 16. This is going to be a tough one to predict, but Madrid are at home, so I do think Atletico will be stubborn, not wanting Madrid to score. But I think Real would just sneak past. I think it'd be probably like a 1-0 Real Madrid, because I think Atletico would sit back and try to stop them, and I think it'll be a late goal, like a 70-something minute goal. Yeah, but I think Real Madrid 1-0. PSV versus Arsenal, 0-0. Draw in the first leg. So yeah, I don't see us scoring. I think our defence probably would do better to keep PSV out, which I think could happen. So I'm going to go for a 0-0. Dortmund versus Lille. Dortmund. I'm gonna go 3-1 Dortmund. Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. I'm gonna go for Inter Milan. It's gonna be a tough test for them, but I think they would get the goals they need. 2-0 Inter Milan. Bayern Munich against Leverkusen. Bundesliga tie right here. Bayern at home, Leverkusen away. I'm going to go for a 1-1 here. I think Leverkusen could hold them to a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Benfica versus Barcelona. I think it'll be a tough test for Barcelona, but I think they'll just have enough to push them over the line. I think they would score, and then Benfica probably would score, and then probably score and then score again late. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Barcelona win. PSG versus Liverpool. Liverpool away. Liverpool got a lot of firepower up front. PSG, quite a young team. 2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. And that's it for my predictions of the Champions League. What do you guys think of my predictions? Put your comments below on that one. Keep it to yourself. Cool. Now we're going to move on to talk the Premier League now. So we're going to come on to the Premier League, which is match day 28. And my obviously predictions for match day 28. So let's get into that. Alright. First game we're going to predict. Nottingham Forest versus Man City, which is obviously on Saturday, 8th of March, a 12:30 kickoff. Forest been good of late. I think this is where City could have problems, but City are on a bit of form. And they're going to want to ramp it up, especially after going on the Champions League. I think City might just edge this, unfortunately. I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. Liverpool versus Southampton. There's no chance Liverpool dropping points there at all. This is another step towards the title for Liverpool. It's at Anfield. Southampton got no chance. 4-0. I don't think Southampton would score, to be honest. I think it's 4-0. Crystal Palace versus Ipswich Town. Palace. Just about. I think 1-0 Palace. Brighton versus Fulham. I'm going to go for... It's a tough game. Tough to call as well. Fulham indifferent. Brighton are fighting kind of more for European places. I think Brighton will just edge it. I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton. Brentford versus Aston Villa. I'm going to go Villa. Villa are inconsistent as well. They have games where they just should win them and they end up losing or drawing. I see a draw in this one, 1-1. Wolves versus Everton. Wolves, no. Draw, yeah. 1-1. Tottenham versus Bournemouth. Tottenham's ground. I think they should have enough to win that game. 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 Tottenham. 2-1. You know, I have a sneaky feeling. I have a sneaky feeling it could be a 2-2. I'm going to go for a 2-2. Chelsea versus Leicester City. Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea. And then the game of the weekend, which is on Sunday, 9th of March, sorry. Man United versus Arsenal. It's at Man United's pitch. I see a draw, to be honest. I don't feel we're scoring any goals, so I like a 1-1. May score from a corner. 1-1. West Ham versus Newcastle. This is a tough one to call as well. Newcastle, I think they're going to be without Isak potentially. Anthony Gordon, I think, is suspended for this game, isn't he, as well? I think. West Ham, just about. Yeah. 2-1 West Ham. And that's it for my Premier League predictions. What are you guys' thoughts? Put your comments below on that one. Keep it to yourself. Cool. Now we're going to move on and talk about the Elimination Chamber. So, if people aren't wrestling fans, you probably may want to switch the podcast off now. Not listening to this part. But the Elimination Chamber that happened on Saturday morning, or Sunday morning for us, Saturday evening for everyone else outside the UK, or generally in the region of the America, Canadian, Pacific area. So yeah, boy, was that crazy. Was that insane. I didn't expect what I expected to happen. Now I'm going to give you some spoilers, because I don't like to do spoilers on there, but you've had 2 days to watch the Elimination Chamber, so I'm going to say what I've got to say now. Spoilers, complete spoilers. I couldn't believe, number one, Jade Cargill coming in and pump kicking, beating the crap out of Naomi. I didn't see that happening. That was incredible to see. So amazing, and first forefront, I was stunned in disbelief at that. But listen, the chamber match in itself, women's chamber match, was good. Everybody had their moments to shine. Roxanne Perez, I think, looked strong and shined in it too. Fantastic Elimination Chamber. I got my predictions right for it as well. I said Bianca Belair was going to win. I got that right. So I'm really happy that she won. If she didn't win, I would have wanted Roxanne Perez to win. Or Bliss. So it was the right call. But we're going to see down the line Naomi probably versus Jade happening at Mania. So I'm very, very excited for that match. These are two athletic women, black women as well, showing what they can do to the world again. That should be interesting. And hopefully it does happen at Mania. I'm just saying, I think it will, but I'm hoping it does. So, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on Monday Night Raw, because that's going to tell me everything of where this direction is going to go. Whether they're going to decide, hey, it's going to be her versus her, Naomi versus Jade, or it's going to swerve and Bianca's going to get her opportunity lost, and it could end up being Bianca versus Jade. Do you know what I mean? I think in some ways there's some sort of cohesion, maybe, that Jade blames them, and I think the probably person who maybe have been behind the attack could have been Bianca Belair. You know what I mean? Maybe jealous because Jade has just come in and hit the ground running. could be that. But it's very interesting now to find out where this story is going to go. So I'm very intrigued to hear it out. But the Chamber overall, very good. Liked the Chamber. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn match, incredible. Absolutely a classic. Do you know what I mean? Just brilliant to watch, brilliant to see. And listen, the whole bumps, everything, fantastic. Again, I predicted the right winner. I said Kevin Owens is going to win. I got that right. It's good again to see the return of Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Didn't see that happening. Randy Orton came, you know what I mean, RKO'd Kevin Owens, and this feud could potentially lead to Mania between the two of them. I'm excited to see it. So that's another one that I'm excited to see what happens down the line with. And then we had the next one, which was Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton facing off against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Now, if I had to be honest, that for me is the weakest match on the card. I just generally think there was a few botches, but I still think it was a decent match. I just think it's something that took away from me, given the overall ratings of potentially a very high rating. But I think overall it's still a good match between the four of them, and it was good to see Trish Stratus back in the ring, being 25 years of Trish. Thank you, Trish, and all that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, man. Again, I predicted the right winners, so I'm on a roll with the predictions. Who knows? But hey, I just got them right, so I was gassed in it. But yeah, man. But it'll be interesting to see Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte. That's what's going to be happening at Mania now. I had a feeling Charlotte was going to pick Tiffany, so we're going to see what happens down the line with that match. I hope Tiffany does retain against, Charlotte Flair, but I think it's inevitable, unfortunately. So, all right. Then we come to the last one, which is obviously the men's Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? And the men's Elimination Chamber was crazy. Do you know what I mean? What happened in the end was insane. But yeah, I predicted Cena was going to win. I got that right. As I said with the guys, I can't remember if I did predict that on TCJ and Just Being Joel's channel. Big up to both of them. Just Being Joel and Tribal Chief Jeff. You can follow them on YouTube at Just Being Joel and at Tribal Chief Jeff. They both do wrestling content in full. So, and they both get together and tag team and do the wrestling business. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? They hurt people literally with what they say and how they say it. So, do you know what I mean? They keep it real and they keep it honest with their opinions on wrestling. So, big them up, Tribal Chief Jeff and Just Being Joel. So, big them, man them up. Do you know what I mean? So, you can catch all of that in full. They will probably put all their, thoughts and feelings onto what they've seen and the whole pay-per-view as a whole. So just look out for that on Tribal Chief Jeff's channel or Just Being Joel's channel, both of them. Subscribe to both of them. But anyways, let's get on to the match in itself. Like the Elimination Chamber, very good, fairly enjoyable again. I obviously did think that. Who did I say I was going to go off first? Damian Priest? No, I don't think I predicted Damian. I can't remember where I predicted Scar first, but I did predict the right winner. I thought it would be between Cena and Punk. That'll be the final two. Now, let's come to the ending, because this was where everything changed. I did not see that coming, and it shocked me. Do you know what I mean? I never thought we'd see Cena have a heel run, and we're now going to see Cena have a heel run. And this is his final season as well. You know what I mean? He's in his final year of professional wrestling, and John Cena's having a heel run. Who saw that coming? It should have happened in 2012. It didn't. But we're having it now. Do you know what I mean? For me, there's now 8 months left of Cena. I would have hoped now it would have been extended, because I would have wanted to see that heel run extended a bit more. Instead of 8 months now, it being probably a year and a half. I don't know how long his body can hold on for, but a year and a half, I think Cena can go on for more months after those 8 months. But I think it depends on the fans. If they keep saying we want you to stay and things like that, if this gets really interesting, then man, this story is cooking already, man, and I'm excited to see what happens, man. Just the turn was shocking. I didn't see that coming. People say it's bigger than NWO, Hogan and all of that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think it is. But I think this is just on a magnitude of level of like, wow, they actually pulled the trigger on this, because I didn't see this coming and it happened. So I'm very excited to see what happens next, because this right here is something that has changed the whole landscape of everything. You know what I mean? Through Jade coming back and attacking, to Randy Orton returning, to that happening in the end, John Cena turning heel. Do you know what I mean? Travis Scott even slapping the crap out of Cody as well. Who saw that happening? It was madness. Do you know what I mean? And it was a beautiful madness. Not to quote Julia on that, but it was generally a beautiful madness. You know, so I want to see what happens next down the line. Do you know what I mean? This is going to cook. And this WrestleMania, when it's happening around the corner, is going to be brilliant. Monday Night Raw and SmackDown is well worth a watch this week. Do not miss it, guys. Do not. I'll say that in abundance. But my overall rating for the Elimination Chamber is a 9.5 out of 10. I thought it was, for me, the best. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn show stole the show. But the ending and everything between that happening in the Women's Elimination Chamber, and then, as I said, I think the Trish Stratus match kind of knocked it down a bit, getting a real top high rating, but it's a very, very good Elimination Chamber. That's why for me, it has to get a 9.5 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? Thoroughly enjoyable, thoroughly entertaining. My mouth was like, when John Cena turned heel, I was like, whoa. And it's a pleasant surprise, because for me, I was never really a fan of Super Cena. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to see Cena now turn into that heel character I'd known for. The Doctor of Thugonomics, obviously he's not going to bring that back. It's going to be a vicious, animalistic John Cena. Yeah, a Cena we've never seen before. Probably back in when he was doing the ruthless aggression. You know, when he came and he punched Kurt Angle in the face. So that's probably the John Cena we're going to see. That probably intensified. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm gassed for it. So yeah, man. But as I said, you know, you can catch all of that plus more on Tribal Chef G's channel and Just Being Joel's. You know what I mean? Big up them, man, them. You know what I mean? They will give you more the lowdown, like D'Lo Brown. You're looking at the real deal now. You know what I mean? Of all of the wrestling stuff. So check them, man, them out. Big them up first time and all of that. Big up my man Jay Dizzle and Cinema Steves too. But yo, wow. That's it, guys, for the end of the podcast. But what do you guys think? Elimination Chamber, Premier League, all of that. Put your comments below on that. Keep to yourself. Big up yourselves one time, guys, for checking out this episode. I know it's been a bit all over the place. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Said headaches starting to kick in. When I sit in front of a light for too long, the brain starts to do a bit of a madness. As I said, I suffer from migraines. It's just one of them things. You know what I mean? Yeah, just going to have to grin and bear with me, unfortunately. You know, it's one of them things. I'm trying to just get past sometimes, you know, and move forward when these things kind of conspire and jump into man's head. So I can't really deeply think about things. I have to just try and process and move forward. But yeah, let me stop waffling on. Big you guys up. Subscribe to the ting if you don't know. Big yourselves up. And yes, you know what we usually do there when we finish. Peace, love, unity, have fun. And you're either all in or clear out.